r/Askreddit by QuriosityCat. What is something you do twice just to make sure, although you perfectly know the first time was sufficient? Checking my passport is in my bag before I travel. Last trip I must have looked 4 more times despite knowing it was in there the first time. Locking the car. Clearing your calculator. CCCCCCCC. Checking the refrigerator to see if there really wasn't any food to eat. Saving in a game. Pull the trigger on my drill before actually using it. Check my phone's volume level in public when I have headphones on. Clicking dongs. Got to get the test clicks and to calibrate them, make sure you don't squeeze too hard. Check that I have my phone/wallet/keys every time I leave my house. That I'm on mute during a work conference call. I check that the mute icon is lit up. I say hello? Hi guys, can you hear me? Then when I receive no answer, I'm good. Check the time on my phone. Calculation in exams. Even cross-check 2 + 2 = 5. Checking if I am in the right bus. Ctrl+C. This. For me, it's Ctrl+C+C+C. Edit. Also, when I copy something, after I'm done pasting it, I highlight a single letter and copy that. Like a spy covering my tracks, lest someone Ctrl+V to see the last thing I copied. Set alarms. I always set up like 2-3 alarms to wake up just in case I oversleep. I'm a writer. I will save every Word document 4 times. No matter what. Flush the toilet. I was accused for years by an abusive uncle of being the one who always clogged the toilet. I think I may have clogged toilets that were not my own maybe 4 times in my entire life, but one of those was at my grandparents' house when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, and my uncle still brings it up to this day. I always flush the toilet twice now to make sure everything goes down and that it's not clogged for the next person, because I never know when someone's going to turn out to be a 10,000% F-head and hold a grudge for over 20 darn years. Checking both sides when I cross the street, even if it's a one-way street. I've almost gotten hit by cars many times as a pedestrian, and I once witnessed a car running from the cops going the wrong way down a one-way street, so I'm extra careful to always check both sides. Intelligence is knowing you only have to check one way on a one-way street. Wisdom is checking both. Whenever I eat out, at some point I almost always have a moment of minor panic where I think I may have left my wallet at home and I check my pocket, even though I know I checked before leaving the apartment. Shake my wiener after peeing. Still not enough. Making sure my car is in neutral at a stop. Anytime I'm saving something I'm working on, I usually save it 2-5 times just to be safe. It's not exactly doing the same thing twice, but I always unplug things like the griddle, iron, waffle maker, etc., even though I turn them off using the switch/knob. Recheck if I tightened the drain plug after changing oil on your car. I've seen multiple engines blow up due to negligence. I have yet to add to those statistics, and I do not plan to in the future. Edit. People seem to like this habit. Thanks guys. Remove plug, remove filter, check filter gasket, reinstall plug and tighten, lube new filter gasket, install new filter, recheck plug. Easy as pie and takes only a few extra seconds. No excuse not to. I wear 1 size stronger contacts in my left eye compared to my right. Every day I open a new pair and grab one from the left box for my left eye, and one from the right box for my right eye. Despite doing this every single morning and knowing I'm right, I absolutely have to check the small number on each and see that I'm right. I've worn contacts for 12 years and they're never wrong, but I can't let myself put them in without first checking. For manual car drivers, wiggling the knob to make sure it's in neutral. I sing keys, wallet, phone and smokes to myself in the tune of head, shoulders, knees and toe. I haven't seen this mentioned yet, but pressing the clear all button on the calculator repeatedly when you're ready to do a new problem. Edit. Sometimes I'll even multiply by 0 just for good measure. Check the back seat for zombies. Checking if I added everything needed to commit and get. Everything. Leaving the house? Let me make sure the back doors are locked. Okay, yes, top and bottom locked. Let me jiggle the handle, gotta be sure. Okay, good. Is that sliding door locked? Let me check that. Okay, good. Wait. That back door was locked, but am I really sure it was locked? Better go check again. Is the stove off? I should go check the burners. Okay, yeah, burners are off and the on light is not illuminated. Time to go. Hold on, I should turn around and double check those burners one more time. Okay, good. Is that ceiling fan off? I should go look at that real quick. All day, baby. All day, every day. Pretty much everything. I have OCD. Clearing browser history. Have to shampoo twice, even if it does nothing but waste shampoo and ruins my hair. Checking that my fly is zipped before representation. Look at my watch. I look once, immediately forget the time and look again. Turning off the stove/oven. Checking if the garage is closed before bedtime. Saving my file in a game. Saved. That felt too quick. Let me do it 3 more times just to be safe. I'm always patting my pockets for keys. Sometimes after hitting the lock button on the key fob several times, I'll physically lock it with the key just to be on the safe side. Since I always have that feeling of I bet I'm forgetting something before I leave the house, my mantra is phone, charger, earphones, wallet, keys, important stuff. If I forget anything else, most often my textbooks lol, I can live with it. Opening Google Chrome. Lol, that's an accurate one. Basic maths. Checking to make sure the lights and heater are off before leaving my house. I'll always do a quick scan through my room to make sure I've turned everything off before leaving. However, I'll normally go back and check to make sure I've turned off everything. Same things goes for leaving a room, getting out of my seat on a bus or train, etc. I'll make sure that I've collected all of my belongings, and as I'm walking away, I'll always turn around to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Make sure my stove is off. The burner knobs have to be turned counterclockwise as far as possible, but do not click into place when they are off. I always worry that I might have accidentally brushed them with my elbow. Measuring before I cut. Good rule for any project I'm working on at work or home. Flushing the toilet. I get paranoid that I forget, so whenever I go back to whatever I was doing before, I suddenly don't ever remember flushing, so I have to go back and check. Whenever I'm going to a concert, and I have a physical copy of the ticket, I'll check to make sure that I still have them multiple times. Like, I could be driving down the highway to the show, throw them in my glove box, and then proceed to double check the glove box at least 2-3 times. It doesn't make any sense, but as soon as I think about having the ticket, it's like, well, I better check for the 4th time, because the last thing I'd want is to show up without a ticket. Does checking if my son is still breathing for no particular reason count? He is perfectly healthy, no issues, and yet I find myself checking from time to time for no reason at all when he is sleeping. Set my alarm for the next morning. I unlock my phone to check that it's on at least 3 times before I can even begin to fall asleep. GPS coordinates. I have an overly strong fear of going on an hours-long drive with the aid of GPS only to find I'm in the wrong state when I get to my destination. This has never happened, but it's such a strong fear. I'll check my GPS at least once while on the road, even after double-checking before I started my trip. If I have a compass handy, I'll also check the compass once in a while as extra assurance, or I'll look at the sun to determine my heading. Before I leave the ATM, I vigorously press the cancel button until it changes back to the default screen. Making sure I'm supposed to bake for 12 to 15 minutes. 12 to 15 minutes. 12 to 15 minutes. 12 to 15 minutes. How long am I supposed to bake this thing again? When working on cars, I double-check the jack stands before getting underneath it to work. I went to school with a girl who used to compulsively hit Ctrl+S every few words of typing. She was like, in 1985, the Ctrl+S average monthly rent, Ctrl+S, was only $375. Ctrl+S, it has since risen, Ctrl+S, by 1,000, Ctrl+S, dollars in some places. Ctrl+S, it was painful watching her type. I asked her why she didn't set a very low autosave interval. She said she didn't trust it. Guess she lost something huge at some point. I may just be getting old, but sometimes I lock the door to my apartment, walk down 4 flights of stairs, and then have to run all the way back up to make sure I lock the door. Saving in video games. It's not like I've really ever lost a bunch of progress, but I tend to play for hours at a time, and I would hate to do it again so soon. Locking my doors and windows. I'm hella paranoid. The weird thing is, I'm not too concerned about humans breaking in, rather I have an irrational fear that cryptids will come in my house lol. Flick the light switch again when I already know the bulb is blown. Making sure that my fridge door is shut. It's not in the best of shape and sometimes it won't shut properly or it'll pop open. I should get a new one, but that costs money. Not checking twice, but similar. I worry that when I'm peeing while awake, it's really just a dream, and I'm wetting the bed. So, I bite my cheek to make sure it's not a dream, and I'm really peeing in the urinal. I'm 34. Making sure I am going into the right bathroom in public. The sign says female. Is the pic right? Am I sure it said female? Okay, a girl went in, it must be the right one. Am I sure it said female? Going into the wrong bathroom is just too embarrassing to risk. I'm a diabetic. I check my insulin supplies before I leave the house once I'm in the car and sometimes I'll pull over and check again on my way. So paranoid about forgetting it and not having them when I need them. When staying at a hotel, check to make sure I have the room key before leaving the room. Checking that I haven't left anything behind. I end up looking like a madwoman with my head jerking back all the time. I don't just double check but sometimes quadruple check the drain plug, oil filter, and fill cap on customer vehicles after doing an oil change. I'll be damned if I blow an engine due to negligence. Same for lug nuts. If I question if I torqued them at all then I do it again and usually immediately remember just doing it but I'll still go around the car and torque them anyway. I'll also be damned if I'm responsible for a wheel-off situation that can potentially kill people. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do you know a great Askreddit thread that you'd like to see on this channel? Let me know in the comments below. And please subscribe to our channel. The Curiosity Cat is watching and meowing. Meow.